Hello, Dave Kenworthy here. No prizes for guessing what I'm talking about today. It's going to be crop circles again. And I found a crop circle, supposedly the most complex crop circle ever recorded. And would you believe it's right near Barbury Castle? But before we talk about crop circles, let me talk about Hugh Franklin. And this is a letter to the Guardian that Hugh sent on the 21st of August 2003. Now, I worked with Hugh for very many years. I've never met him, but we corresponded via email, and he was the person that I sought out because he knew more about the megalithic yard than anybody alive. And for many years, he nudged me towards understanding this megalithic yard because it's a very complex thing. And Hugh responded to Mark Pilkington's article, The Megalithic Yard, in The Guardian. Now let's have a look at Mark Pilkington's article. In the mid-17th century, the architect Inigo Jones was instructed to survey Stonehenge. So that's the start. Almost a century later, the antiquarian William Stukeley overturned Jones' theory, noting the site's ancient age and astronomical alignments. Stukeley also suggested the ruins shared a uniform system of measurement. Whoever they were, our ancient monument builders were no barbarians. Well, Stukeley suggested the Druids' cubit of 20.8 inches was what Stonehenge was designed against, and to be quite honest, that works perfectly. 200 years later, such notions were largely forgotten. The stones, a quaint picnic spot, still untouched by hippie hands. All that was about to change. In 1967 came the publication of Megalithic Sites in Britain by Alexander Thom, a retired Oxford engineering professor who had spent more than a decade surveying megaliths throughout the land. Thom concluded that the builders used a standard unit of measurement, which he called the megalithic yard. This measured 2.72 feet, 32.64 inches, 40 megalithic inches, 1 megalithic inch being 0.816 of an imperial inch. To Thom, the design, placing, and likely function of the stone circles showed the builders had a profound understanding of topography, astronomy, and the measurement of time. And when I got Thom's first book, having read Civilization 1 by Knight and Butler, when I got Thom's first book, as soon as I saw the method that he'd analysed his stone circles by, it was something I was so familiar with, I knew his conclusions were right. So I wrote a book about his book. That was my first book. And it's called Stonehenge, It's About Time. Now, my last book that I wrote is with Hugh Franklin, and it's called From Stonehenge to Giza. So we can look at Hugh's article. And Hugh's article is called The Megalithic Yard Unearthed. The megalithic yard's never been lost. It's always been with us. Thursday, 21st of August, 2003. Guardian.co.uk. I write with regard to Mark Pilkington's article, The Megalithic Yard. The megalithic yard has never been lost. It has always been with us. And he tells us how to calculate a megalithic yard. And Hugh has got his own website and it's still available. So if I click on that, if you're interested in his work, click here for the main site. It's the most fantastic work. This man was so ahead of his time in terms of analysing Stonehenge. And everything that I've learned really about Stonehenge and the Giza Pyramid I've learned from Hugh. And the book, Stonehenge to Giza, really, it's a testament to Hugh's knowledge that book was written and that he let me use his work to write it. And there's so much on here. He says if Professor Thom in his study and measurements of stone circles was using a tape measure marked in imperial feet, then it should be no surprise to find a unit equivalent to his stated 2.72 plus or minus 0.003 feet. The thing is, the megalithic yard works with the imperial system. And there's no doubt about that. I'm going to show you Hugh's calculation of the megalithic yard. And this is Hugh's proof of the megalithic yard. It's 2.72 feet, but Hugh calculates it using root 3 as 1.732050808, and I can drop these universal constants from the Excel program, so there's no worry about that being inaccurate. And half of root 3 is that, and pi to 10 decimal places is that, giving this for the megalithic yard. Now, I've worked out a different calculation to get the megalithic yard exact as 2.72 feet using a fractional calculation, because the ancients didn't use decimals. And the fractional calculation is this. So we've got 26 over 30, and that's half root 3. And if we multiply it by 2, we have to remember that the distance between Stonehenge to Avebury is 17.333 miles. And the distance to the circle that we found, which is just short of Avebury, and is covered by the crop circle, is 17 miles. Now that is what I call Thom pi. It's 3.138462, but it's 40.8 over 13, and it can be many other arrangements. So they were actually using 2.72, because it has to be arrived at fractionally. And now I just want to go into this version of pi, because that's been found in a crop circle. So if we go to the crop circle video on YouTube, we'll find it now. Cue the spooky music. So 3.141592654. $3.141592653.6. So I've gone one more there, so it's 4 at the end. It's exactly the same. Now it's incredible that this crop circle has been done in a barley field, because the unit of measure the ancient people used was a barleycorn, and Hugh writes about barleycorns. And the barleycorn is 11 over 30 inches. 0.3666 inches, that's a barleycorn. And that's the basic unit of measure that these people at Stonehenge were using. And I don't need to go into that now because the video will be too long, but I will talk about it in the future. So for now, there's Hugh Franklin's megalithic yard proof, and there's a version of pie that's been discovered in a crop circle at Barbury Castle. So thank you very much.